So in the last session, we looked at performance management systems, or at least the approach to what the meaning is and how recruitment and selection or generally talent management could benefit. And I think there's a lot of uses of performance management. You learn that once you set up performance management systems, and quite often outsiders set them up for you, people who know psychometrics and taxonomy and so on. But once they're set up, it might be your job to administer it. And one of the bottlenecks is managers. Managers maybe don't like doing them. There's a certain amount of bias towards filling them out for their employees. It could go either way. We looked at some legal issues. So the idea that there's very few laws that require performance management, but soon as you do it, then you have to maintain fairness and equity throughout and consistency, which I think is a cornerstones of HR itself. We looked at the processes that are used to establish performance systems, not so much on the administration side, and some of the various tools and models that we can use, everything from graphic rating scale to a 360-degree approach to MBOs. We also had a good look at artificial intelligence and blockchain, and I do encourage you to find out even more. These are emerging things. These are areas that you should have some talking points around because a lot of other people don't. So although they're not established technologies, they're relatively new, and you can be the kind of innovators in this area. Not that you have to be technical and actually do it, but you're the ones who've come up with ideas of how we can use it and let the technical people worry about the rest. Now in this session 6, we're going to be covering recruitment. We're finally there. It took a bit of time, but we got some basis framework things out of the way. So what is recruitment? We'll revisit the idea of demand. Remember that T&D model that we started off with? We're going to go back. We're going to talk more about how demand is initiated, and then get right into recruitment from the sources we can use, the way we would collect the data, use the data. We'll talk about applicant tracking systems. And by this time, you should be well into Taleo, the system we're using. Hopefully, you even have your interview scheduled. I don't think you would have done your interview by now, but you are looking at how to write interview questions and maybe even started writing them. I hope you did anyways, because you've got about 2-3 weeks left to finish this interview assignment for part 2. In this session, we're also going to look at costs associated with recruitment. I think it's important to keep track of costs so you could weigh their benefit against the outcomes. How effective were your recruits? Did it take too long, for example? Was it worth it? What's your acquisition cost? And then we started looking at some of the metrics around recruitment as well. So in addition to the simple metrics we covered here, like length of time to hire, lag times, and so on, cost per hire, I'll put up another document that I think you should also look at, because anytime you are knowledgeable about metrics in relation to various aspects of HR, the better off you are during an interview, but also gives you a certain perspective that maybe other people don't have about how we can measure recruitment efforts. So hopefully you'll enjoy this session. It is the beginning of recruitment. Next session we'll look at selection. At least we'll get it started, part 1 of selection, which is screening. So go to the discussion board, remember that, look at the note set for this, the recorded lecture, and we'll see you in this session.